Joining me now from Detroit, former coordinator of the Michigan Campaign for Liberty, chairman of the 13th District GOP, and congressional candidate for Michigan's District 13, David Dudenhoefer. David, on your website, it's interesting, you have a statement, a lot of statements that caught my eye, but on your website you say this: Rashida Tlaib has abandoned the philosophies of securing our individual rights, aka socialism. My question to you is, did she ever embrace liberty? Did she ever embrace the United States Constitution? Does she even understand what the framers gave us?
Well, she should have. I mean, her story is the story of the American immigrant. Her family came here to seek a better life. And, by all rights, she should have had that perfect American story. Instead, she came here and embraced something that represents the antithesis of what we believe in a free society. By embracing socialism, which we know is the gateway drug to communism. And we have to, as Americans, reject any of that sort of thinking. So that's why my candidacy, my Liberty Uncompromised candidacy, is in full swing to give a different option and a different perspective to people, to make them understand, or to show them, to demonstrate that the message of liberty is the best pathway towards peace and prosperity for everyone who seeks it.
You got a tough audience, though, because over decades now they've been influenced by Rashida Tlaib types and the modern Democrat Party. And Nancy Pelosi is probably doing a pretty good job here to put a veneer over Tlaib. I'm sure she's much more radical than we even know. But District 13 is maybe a prototypical district within an inner city. Detroit, Dearborn Heights. It is Democrat plus 32 in terms of the voter registration. Yes. Rashida Tlaib, we already mentioned. Her Liberty score, by the way, David, if you're keeping score at home, is F7%. She has a 0% rating on the Second Amendment, a 0% rating on the free markets, and a 0% rating on taxes. I reject a rating like that, a Liberty score like that. What do you say?
Well, I think there's a couple of things to keep in mind. Wayne County has been neglected for several decades before I got involved in politics by people who should have been reaching out to the demographics, the different demographics, a long time ago. So what I'm trying to do is to establish relationships, build some trust. I've already gone into the inner city, the churches, communities where Republicans just historically sort of abandoned our message. And what's interesting is that you say it's a plus 32 district. You are correct amongst voters. But you have to remember that amongst the 700,000 plus residents, the majority of the people do not vote. They just haven't been motivated to vote. And I think if we can tap into what, for example, President Trump tapped into by turning don't cares into cares, I think we can do that with a sort of a unifying message of individual liberty. And in doing that, I think we can wake up a lot of folks and give them a reason to be motivated to want to vote. And I think our Liberty Uncompromised campaign does that. I think the message and the branding is perfect for this district. And I'm looking forward to taking the message all summer to the people, raising the necessary funds as we're already doing, and making that difference. And I really think that we can shock the world.
And maybe highlighting, let's hope so, and maybe highlighting the fact that this president, you can either do it directly or maybe through the back door, that the lowest black unemployment rate in this nation's history, and that you would like to hopefully sustain those kinds of policies that puts more blacks in this country back to work. But let's talk about Dude, as you like to call yourself. Let's talk about you. A couple of things caught my eye. You believe in natural-born rights. That's good, because that dovetails in the framing of this country, in particular the Declaration of Independence. Taxation is theft. God bless you on that. And liberty is key. You're kind of old school in the way old school, like a John Jay or maybe even a Patrick Henry.
Well, what woke me up back in 2007 was a message of pure liberty, just as my campaign, Liberty Uncompromised. And when I heard it, it made so much sense to me. And I thought, my God, why are more leaders not speaking this way? And as I said, it got me up off the couch in my late 20s, early 30s, and turned me from a don't care into a care. And so much so that I got involved in politics. And I just think that if we can get back to a clean message, people will respond favorably, because obviously people are smart.
Yep.
they can smell BS a mile away. And by the way, this whole dude thing, this is real. I mean, it's my last name. My friends call me that. My political cohorts call me that. With my father, my brother, it's just a family thing. And so it's real. And I think people can connect to, obviously, the branding and just understand that I'm just an American just like everybody else, a real American that works 9 to 5. My history has been as a political activist and a leader, training and mobilizing activists and citizens so that they can hold their elected officials accountable. That's
Yep.
what I've been doing for the past 12 years. And so I want to take that idea and empower people to not just vote for me, but to hold their elected officials, including me, accountable to the Constitution.
That's a model for all congressional candidates, frankly. Dude for Congress. That's dude, the number 4, Congress.com. Dude4Congress.com if you'd like to help this gentleman defeat one of the most hated, vitriolic members of the United States Congress, Rashida Tlaib. David, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.